𝘿𝙗𝙖 and a very good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Welcome to the weekly Sunday Pūjā in Unison and Dhamma Sharing Online, an initiative of the 𝓟𝓾𝓷𝓷 Buddhist Council of Malaysia, and is hosted by MSBS and DBV. It's certainly good to see all of you healthy once again on this online platform. Today is the 1st of September 2024. To begin today's puja, I shall now invite Sister Cheng to read out the offerings in English. Over to you, Sister Cheng.
Thank you, Brother Terence. 𝘿𝙗𝙖𝙢𝙢𝙖, a very good morning to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. It is a great blessing to be able to come together for morning puja, to review our precepts and to stay through a brief Dhamma sharing. So now let us compose our minds and reflect on the significance of virtual offerings that we shall make with full respect to our blessed teacher, the Buddha. Let us begin with the offering of lights. May we offer these candles burning brightly out of deep respect and veneration to our enlightened master, the Buddha. May these lights symbolically guide us to the light of the Dhamma, which dispels the darkness of greed with the light of generosity, the gloominess of hatred with the light of love, and the darkness of ignorance with the light of wisdom through the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Offering of joss sticks and incense. May we offer these joss sticks and incense out of deep respect and veneration to our blessed master, the Buddha. May the fragrance of these joss sticks and incense be pleasing unto the gods and devas. May our good deeds be like the fragrance of the joss sticks, cultivating compassion, patience, tolerance, understanding, and love towards all living beings. Offering of water. May we offer this water to symbolize our aspiration to cultivate the virtues of calmness, clarity, and purity. Let it remind us to diligently cleanse ourselves of our spiritual defilements and delusion through the cultivation of generosity, compassion, and wisdom. Offering of flowers. These flowers, too, we offer out of deep respect and gratitude to our compassionate master, the Buddha. These flowers, sweet, beautiful, and choice, are clustered at the feet of our noble master. Beautiful as they are now, they will soon, with the passing of time, will fade and be casted away. Reflecting thus on this very nature of unsatisfactoriness, impermanence, and soullessness, let us tread the path shown by the Buddha for the eradication of sufferings here and now. Brothers and sisters, to begin this morning's puja, let us pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha by saying sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapamadathana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho viccacarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satta dewa manussanang buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sandittiko akaliko ehipassiko opanayiko paccatang veditappo vinyuhiti. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Pujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidang cattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakkineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punyaket tang lokasati.
Vandami cetiyang sabbang sappatani supatititang saririkadatu mahabodhing buddharupang sakalang sada. Yasamule nisindova sabbari vijayang akha Patto sabbanyutang satta vande tang bodhipadapang ime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujita ahang pite namassami bodhiraja namatute Ganasarapaditena dipena tamadangsina 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang Ganda sambarayuttena dupena hang sugandhina Pujaye pujaniyantang puja-bhajanamuttamang Adivasetuno bante paniyang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigang hatumuttamang Adivasetuno bante bojanang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigang hatumuttamang Adivasetuno bante gilana paccayang imang anukampang upadaya patigang hatumuttamang Vannagandha gunopetang etang kusuma santating pujayami munindassa siripada saroruhe pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena tena cahotu mokkang Uppang milaya tiataidang me kayo tatayati vinasa bhava akasatta ca bummatta evanaga mahitika punyantang anumoditva sirang rakkantu loka sasanang akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahitika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu desanang akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahitika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu mang paranti Devo vasatu kalena sassa sampatti hetu ca pito bhavatu loko ca raja bhavatu dhammiko idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavane bana patiya kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame bante puripanya tathagata kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame dhamma sandittika akalika kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame sangga supatipanna anuttara.
Karaniya kusalena yantang santang padang abisamecca sakko ujuja sujuja suwaco cassamudu anatimani santu sakko ca subaro ca appakicco ca sallahu kavutti santin triyo jani pako ce appagabbo gule su ananu giddo nachakut dam sama care kinci yena binyu pare upavadeyum sukino wa kemino hontu sabbe satta bawantu sukitatta ye ke cipana butatti tasawa tawarawa anawaseha tiga wa ye mahantawa majima rasakanu katula ditta wa ye wa additta ye cadure wasanti avidure Bhutawa sambhave siva sabbe satta bhavantu sukitatta naparo param nikubeta nati manyeta katta cinang kanci biaro sana patiga sanya nanya manya sadukka mitceya Mata yatani yam puttam ayusa eka puttamanurakke evam pisab babutesu manhasambhava ye aparimanang mettan casab balokasming manasambhava ye aparimanang Uddam ado catiriyanca asambadam averam asapattam Tittang carang nisinno pasayano vayawatas savigatamiddo Etang satim aditteya brahmamettam viharam idamahu Dittinca anupagamma sīlava dassanena sampanno Kāmesu vinneya gedam nahi jātu gabbaseyam punareti Etena satcavat jena sotite hotu sabbada Etena satcavat jena sotite hotu sabbada Etena satcavat jena sotite hotu sabbada By this declaration of the truth, may you all be safe at all times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, 𝓤𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 and 𝓤𝓾𝓷𝓷 for today's Sunday Pūjā chanting. Now back with us this week, we have Brother Leng Huat to share on I Love Chanting. Now let's listen what Brother Leng Huat have to say about his love on chanting and why Buddhists should learn a bit on chanting. Over to you, Brother Leng Huat.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Brother Terence. So before we begin, let me also just recite the Namo Tassa 3 times. To pay homage to the Buddha. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma tassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So that was the what we call it the opening chanting. Yeah. Okay, why I love chanting? It's a very long story. It'll take me maybe a few, I don't know, maybe at least 2 weeks to elaborate on this one. How I benefited at this now, no theoretical things. Yeah. Okay, what you see when we have a puja on, remember, we always start with the homage to the Buddha. That's Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Prior to that, we can say sadhu 3 times, or in some other tradition, they have got the opening salutation also. Now, basically, after we say the sadhu, 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 or we have the opening salutation, we will prostrate in front of the Buddha image. We bow down 3 times, yeah. So now, after a long time, when we do this, I understood that this is actually for me to practice humility, practice humility to lower ourselves down, right? So now, this humility is very important for us, we must let go of the ego, So before we start any of this puja, let go of the ego, right? And we say, sadhu, we bow, sadhu, we bow, sadhu, we bow. Okay? So now we try to let go. Now this we do almost every week or every time we have a puja. Sometimes you have puja at night. Every night you want to have your own puja at home. That's very good. Now, why such a long process? People say, humility practice one time, okay, what? But it's not true, because we have lived with this kind of ego with us for many, 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 many millions of life. Correct? So it's not easy in this lifetime. We think we just say it once, we can let go. Not true. We have to do it many, many, many times. Each time we do, a little bit of the ego goes off, maybe. I hope, hopefully. But for me, yes, I feel the humility in me when I do this. Okay? Then after that, what do? We take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Correct? We take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and we say, Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, and then we say, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami, and we repeat it for the 3rd time. We say, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Meaning to say that we take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Yeah. And then, of course, it is very advantageous for us to take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. If you listen carefully, we know that when we take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, the book says that we will never be reborn in the unfortunate state of existence. Right? Yes, but please remember, it's not simply reciting and then you think you will be reborn in unfortunate state of existence. You must say with conviction. You must say with full submission to the triple gem. So for me, I also realize that when I recite this, and I do it every day. Why? Because it is full submission to the triple gem. That means I'm saying I have full confidence, full faith in the Buddha, his teachings, and the members of his Mahasangha. Right? Now, it is very important again here because I feel that my faith grows, my confidence, my faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha increases. Each time I do that, it increases, but again, we say that, yes, there are some people say, you don't need to repeat, no need to take refuge every day. Yes, of course, if you are a very firm-minded person with full confidence, you don't have to. But I do it almost every day because I believe that, like I've said earlier, I have lived with billions of lives with no confidence in him. Maybe that's why I'm still in samsara. So this time, when I say it, I really submit myself. I feel very confident in his teachings, and I don't have doubt in his teachings. Although I learn other traditions, to understand others, but my confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha did not wane at all. So that is very important. So we say we take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. We are lucky today we still have this refuge available here. So I just do that. Like I said, it builds my confidence. It builds my confidence, and my confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And you must feel it, when you do it. That is called conviction. Right? You must feel that your confidence increases every time you recite this. Then after which we will recite the Pancasila. Remember, we say Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, Adinna Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, Kamesu Michacara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, Surame Raya Matja Pamadatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Then again, what is this recitation all about? When we start with this when we start learning the puja, we recite the puja, we read the meaning at the same time, our mind did not stay focused. It's difficult when we just start, So now then we say that, then eventually we try to understand, Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, meaning we will not destroy life unnecessarily. We abstain from taking lives unnecessarily. And then when we reflect on this, what happens? When we reflect on this, we say that we abandon the destruction of life, and then we descend from the destruction. We will abandon the idea of wanting to take life unnecessarily. That's the word that's important here, unnecessarily, because sometimes, when we recite without full understanding, we do get confused. Remember, sometimes people ask questions about how a house got termites, how to do this, rats, how cockroaches, how. Okay, we come back to the termites better, easier to understand. So sometimes, see, all these not olden houses, but nowadays the new houses, their roof rafters and the ceiling rafters are made of steel. They're very good. So we hardly have termites kind of problems now. And then door frames are also made of steel. But during my time, my house, still the roof rafters are made of wood. Ceiling rafters are made of wood. Door frames are made of wood. I'm sure many of you have this problem. So eventually we say we got termites at our roof rafters. So how? We cannot kill, they say. So how? So that's why I say sometimes the more we recite, the more we can understand. Initially I felt the same thing also. I must not take life. So I will not destroy all this. So what happened if I don't destroy the termites at my roof rafters? My roof will fall off. What happens when the roof collapses when people are dead? It might injure people or kill people. Correct. So which is the bigger good? So now, as I chant more, that's why I love chanting. I reflect on the meaning of the chant, not only chanting blindly. We always say in my class, in our class that we have called the unison chanting, we say we do not chant as a ritual. Remember? We chant with understanding. So as we continue to recite Panatipata, we realize that actually we have to remove the termites from the wood rafters, failing which the roof rafters might collapse. And it might injure my family members, it might injure my friends who come to visit me. Right? So what is the bigger good? Of course, to save my family members and to save my friends from being injured or maybe even killed by the falling rafters, correct? So if that is the case, I have no choice. I have to remove the termites from the wooden portion of the roof rafters. Correct. So I have to treat my roof rafters. I have to treat my door frames. Because of this kind of issues. So we must remember, when we say panatipata, we say we abstain from killing, meaning to say that we don't do unnecessary killing out of greed, out of hatred, out of delusion. So killing with a bigger purpose in our life, meaning to remove this kind of termites thing, or rats in the house which may cause plague, which carries diseases, then it should be the bigger good will be better. You'll outshine that little misdeed of ours. So in other words, we must recite with that kind of proper understanding. Don't just do it blindly. So these are the things we decide. Again, we discuss in our unison chanting. Of course, we can refrain that. It is very good. But unfortunately, many of us have the problem with termites. I hear a lot of stories about termites here, termites there, but what to do, brother, what to do, brother. I say there's no problem. Think of the bigger good. I will not let my roof collapse and kill people in the house just to save the termites. I say, I will not do it. And then my precept is, as a layperson, I only observe the 5 precepts, which are actually, okay, we'll come to that, which are not actually a commandment that I cannot do anything. It's just to restrain myself. Okay. So that is there. Then we continue and then we recite same thing. We recite Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. And also I benefit from this, meaning to say that we avoid taking things that's not ours. I will elaborate this a little bit at the end of the towards the second half of the talk. So if you say Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, and then we must remember the Buddha also said in the 𝓿𝓝𝙖𝙢𝙢𝙖 Sutta, the result of taking what not has been given to us is bad, isn't it? Both in this life and in the lives to come. So having reflected thus, he gives up what has not been given to him. He descends from taking what has not been given to him. So this is what has been elaborated in 𝓿𝓝𝙖𝙢𝙢𝙖 Sutta, where one of the Brahmins asked the Buddha, what do you all do during Upasata day? And then the Buddha explained, this is what we do. They have got many rituals. Those days, the 𝓿𝓝𝙖𝙢𝙖𝙢, the Brahmins, they have many rituals. On Upasata day, they must get up in the morning, dress up very beautifully, very nice, you take a piece of nice veil or nice cloth, and then they must find a bit of cow dung and spread it somewhere, near the house. And then they must get grass to lay there, and then they must sit beside it, and then they must get all kind of rituals, So what Buddha says, we don't do all this, We just observe our precepts, That is the way we celebrate our Upasata day, correct? So we must learn not to take things that are not ours, because the Buddha says simply, the Buddha asked him very simple questions, having thus reflected, is this taking things that's not yours? Is it good for the present life? No good, isn't it? Definitely, if you get caught, you go to prison. And it's good for the lives to come. No good also. When you do a lot of unwholesome activities, you will be born in an unfortunate state. So which is no good, we refrain. So we understand now. We understand we must refrain from taking things that is not ours, So when we chant, we reflect and we see the beauty of not taking things that's not yours. Your life becomes more conducive. Life becomes more peaceful. Less fear in our lives. Okay, then we have Kamesu, Micacara, Veramani, Sikkhapadang, Samadhiyami. We say we should not indulge in unwholesome sexual misconduct. Correct? We should not have misconduct in our sexual life. So meaning to say that very easy again, the Buddha said, is it good to misbehave yourself sexually in this present life? No, people will not trust you. People will hate you. Correct? Is it good for the life to come, you think? Definitely not. When you don't behave yourself well, your future life is also going to be bad. Okay? So again, we try to restrain ourselves. So so then we say Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. So again, here also we say that we take this precept, abstain from telling lies, abstain from telling lies, okay? And then the Buddha again asked the Brahmin, is this good for you in your present life? You start telling lies? Definitely no. Isn't it? People will not trust you. Then is it good for your next life? Definitely no also, isn't it? You will be born in a very unfortunate state, Okay, then again, we have to remember, we reflect. But this telling lies, and then we see the qualities of the Buddha later, So then we continue with last but not least, our fifth precept is Suramiraya Macca Pamada Nana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Okay, so is this good for you? Drinks that clouds your mind. You lose control over yourself. The effect of the drink, that will cloud your mind. That clouds your mind. You lose control. You lose self-control over desires, over this kind of desires, and then you do perform wrong actions. Are these correct? People won't trust you. People won't respect you. You may land yourself in prison. It's no good for this present life. Neither is good for your future life, because you will pay the karma for all this. So when we recite, we reflect all these, then, of course, initially we will not be able to have that kind of strong conviction. But as you recite this longer and longer and longer, and then you will have this kind of conviction. Conviction that your mind, then your mind becomes very clear and pure, that you can actually see things more clearly. Okay? So now, after chanting this for a long period, I say I love chanting. Why? So you can understand the effect of renewing these precepts regularly. People say no need to take precept every day. No? But you need to, like I've said earlier, we have lived a life, we have lived billions of lives without observing these things. Billions of lives with kind of a delusion. So we need to clear up this daily to remind us again and again. And it slowly will erode, slowly it will erode, okay? So basically what do we understand, We understand this precept for as what? Not as a commandment, not as to obstruct you from achieving things. No, this precept is about self-restraint. Correct? You analyze again, and we chant, and our mind is more peaceful. We can see very clearly. It is about self-restraint. Restraint in what? Restraint in our body, restraint in our speech. Body means our action. We must restrain in our actions. We don't do things just suka-suka hati. And then we must make sure we control our speech, and our mind must be clear. So these precepts that we take is actually a training for us. It is a training of what? Training of restraining from your actions, your speech, and your mind. So that our actions are always mindful, so that our speech becomes very careful, and our mind will become clear. Okay? So as the Buddha says, restrain over your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body is good. Why do we say ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and body? These are the faculties that all these kind of unwholesome activities come. Okay, they come through these faculties that we have. So because of your eyes, then you may do wrong actions, correct? Or because of your hearing, you have a wrong speech. So because of your mind, it works wrongly, your actions and your speech and your all get confused, right? So it is about, so we must remember, it's restraint over our eyes, our ears, our tongue, our body. It's good, right? As it restrains the term of actions, our speech, and our thoughts. We have explained that very clearly earlier, isn't it? So your body, speech, and mind, what's good about it? What is so good about restraining all this? We say, why you have to restrain all this? Well, Well, for one thing, if you don't have any restraint, let's say we don't restrain anything, let the feeling flow, let everything go haywire, what will happen? We will lose control over where our lives are going. Correct? If you just buat suka-suka hati, sedap-sedap hati, then what will happen is your lives will go to wherever we have no limit. Correct? So we don't have control over where our lives are going. So we must make sure we I recite this to make sure that my body, speech, and mind is always under some restraint. Not complete, but at least I have restraint over things that is not right to say, not right to do, not right to think of. So it helps. This is how this kind of chanting help you. Because this actually in Buddhism, this self-restraint is the fundamental, the basic thing that the Buddha is teaching us actually to restrain ourselves. Right? To restrain ourselves, to understand. And then when you restrain yourself all these your body, speech, and mind, what does that mean? Because most of our unwholesome activities, remember, not most, all of our wholesome activities is from either your body, that's your actions, or your speech, or your mind. Correct? These are the three most critical things. And these things have got the 5 doors for them, and all the unwholesome things come through these 5 doors, which is your eyes, your ear, your nose, your tongue, and your body. So we must learn to restrain this. So we will say now that, you see, so some restraint, restraint is the basic, is the fundamental teachings of the Buddha. Correct? Why? It explains the practice of maintaining control over one's sense. Why? Then we can foster inner peace and spiritual development. So remember, when we recite, we always chant, okay? And then we know that it will affect us, because we will actually eventually understand it is self-restraint. This Panchasila is about self-restraint, and then you will foster inner peace, right? And then your spiritual development is there also. So based on the teachings of the Buddhas, okay, sense restraint emphasizes the importance of mindful awareness, correct? When everything is restrained, then there is mindful awareness, right? And then we also have moderation in engaging with the external world, meaning to say that we don't go all out to do things. So we have moderation, we are engaging with the external world. Correct. So this is the basic of our self-restraint. Correct. And the basic of our Panchasila. Correct. But again here, sometimes there are misconception and misinterpretation. Misconception and misinterpretation. Some people, they think that, this form is a suppression or a denial of you to do things, Is a suppression? No, never. We must remember, this is not suppression or denial. It is merely restraint with understanding, because we know this restraint that we do, we know that this restraint will bring the awareness of mindfulness, correct? And then bring the awareness that when we engage with people, we have to be more careful. This is self-restraint. It is not the misconception of saying that it is the denial, correct? So no, it is not about denial or saying that we're blocking you from your progress. No, it is not. So we must always remember, it is not a denial or a suppression. It is only a restraint, correct? So don't say that we cannot, oh my God, I take Malatipata, I cannot kill the termites. Correct? There is no denial or suppression for you. Think of the bigger good and be performed. I feel that way. This is how I feel. I'm sharing with you. I love chanting because as I chant and chant and chant. Yes, initially I felt that, oh my God, I cannot feel anything anymore. Wow, I become a saint. Then as you continue, you develop and you understand deeper. Your mind is clearer and you realize that there is always the bigger good to doing certain things we perform. There are many times the Buddha has done it that way. We always think of the bigger good, okay? We must always think it is not a denial of all being. It is not a suppression. There is no denial nor suppression in Buddhism. It's all about gradual learning, gradual training. Yep. Okay. So now we remember it is, however, in this context of Buddhism, remember, self-restraint entails a balanced approach to sensory experiences, avoiding excessive indulgence or aversion and view. So remember, when we say we don't do this, because of this. So don't be excessively indulged so that we are not excessive. So also our precept, don't be excessively indulged and then get a wrong view on this. Correct? It is about self-restraint. Correct? And this, when we develop this self-restraint, we know why it is good for, so that we avoid excessive indulgence and aversions and view. Right? It is about your attachment. What do you mean by this excessive indulgence? It is about your attachment to being right in your opinion. Your judgment or your interpretation leading to aversion. Mine is always right. This is what I say. This is what I think. This is what I say. This is how I interpret it. So this will lead you to aversion or heated argument. You see? So we must know this is, I just took my 5 precepts. It is about restraining what? My opinion is included. My judgment of things are included. My interpretation is included. Accept what others have to say. All right? You cannot control everything in the world. So we accept what others want to interpret, accept what others want to say. We just keep quiet. There's nothing wrong. Because we say that if we are too attached, overindulgence, we avoid avoid excessive indulgence. Indulgence in your excessive indulgence in your right opinion, your view, your interpretation, your judgment. This is not right. So your panatipata, understand it carefully. It is about restraint. And restrain everything we can. Slowly. Not overnight. Okay? It took us many of years. We thought we don't kill first, we don't steal. Then later we understand it's about this. Then we remember now. We understood it as self-restraint. And then we will not be overindulged in our opinion. Don't be too stubborn, in short. Then we become a better person. We cannot prevent a lot of things from happening, right? So that is the meaning, So this practice, like this practice, also means like we renounce the need to be right we must give up that idea we say that we are right all the time So that way we can get along with our colleagues. We can get along with our neighbors. We can get along with a lot of people because of these kind of ideas and views that you are not so mati-mati betul lah. So jadi kita kena relax kita with our opinion. Jangan fikir kita saja betul lah, orang lain semua salah, kita saja betul. No, we must also consider people's opinion, because if kita saja betul, then that will lead you to what? That leads you to your excessive indulgence, stubborn degil lah. Kalau kita peranakan juga orang degil lah. Okay, so that means we have to give up this kind of thing. And then also we must also now we learn that we must not steal. What does that mean also? Sometimes we must also see that means to say that we must also not forget that the measure of success is not the material that we have. Jadi kadang-kadang kita ni fikir that the more you have, the more successful you are, So that is why people get more and more and more. When they cannot get more, people get more, then they start cheating lah, they start stealing lah, they start doing a lot of nonsensical things lah. Because of what? They think that the measure of their success is the material that they have. Itu masalah besar. So people think that the more you have, the more successful you are. Jadi tak ada curi lah, correct? Tak ada tipu lah. Itu macam lah. So it leads to a lot of other kind of unwholesome activities, correct? Because, so that's why we must learn. We say that we do not want to steal. Adinna dana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. We are happy with what we have, correct? We must learn to be happy. And remember that our success is not measured by the things that we have. Kadang-kadang kita ni act sikit lah. Kalau ada sikit kereta besar ni, you're more successful than somebody who got a smaller car lah. But we forgot that inside that person with a smaller car has a lot of peace in him. And we have a lot of turmoil inside us. You see? So it is not about material gain in your life, right? So don't measure your life as, your material value as the worth of your life. No, it is not that way. So kita remember lah, when we want to say that we don't want to steal, we also reflect on the restraint of what? Not only physical restraint of our mind, to know that, to understand that the measure of my success, is not the materials that I have. So we must remember, so these are the things that you must click and click and click to understand. So this is, and then of course you can go to your musawada, and then you think like, it's not about not drinking, it's that we don't want to corrupt our mind. Right? Because when our mind gets distorted by the effect of this liquor, we do silly things. So we must remember that the effect of these things is not good for us. So why? Because we will misbehave ourselves. We will be boasting, ego inflated. We will be taking things that's not ours. You see, it affects. We will be looking at people's things. People's wife also kita harus tengok. And then we come boasting and one thing leads to another. So let us not confuse ourselves. So that's why the Buddha says we avoid the effect of intoxicants if you can. Okay? And then we have covered. So these are the things that how I reflect on my Panchasila and the start of my sutta. And it has made me more peaceful in a way. So I love chanting that way. And I hope that I'm able to continue with you on the second part of why I love chanting next week. Okay? With that, I say thank you very much again for your attention. And I hope it was very useful to you all. I'll say sadhu this time. And then you please now practice all these little things that we have discussed if you can, and see that you have this correct or not. Nothing to wait for. We are all ready to practice now. And for the unison chanters also, you must practice. And for the new people who do not know what chanting, you can join us in our unison chanting group. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much for your time again. Over to you, brother.
Thank you very much, Bro Tan Leng Huat, for today's sharing. It's very timely. Okay, now let's dedicate some memories to all beings, whether they are seen or unseen. Akasatha ca bummata devanaga mahitika punyang tamanumoditva ciram rakkantu loka sasanang ettavata ca amhehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe bhuta sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu Sukita hontu nyatayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo. Satang samagamo hotu yavani bana patiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone for watching and staying back. For other videos, please visit the links below. Bye bye for now. See you again next week.